Alright guys, sorry for lack of content lately on this, but I was waiting on the ECU and the DNA Stage 2. If you guys haven't seen yet, we've got the full Akropovich on there. Sent the ECU off last Monday, got it back Saturday, but I was waiting to put it in because I still hadn't gotten the DNA Stage 2. That came yesterday, but unfortunately it didn't come until like 8:30 at night, so I didn't get to this yesterday, but I kind of had already started on it. Got the quad lock mounted up. Obviously that's not the permanent location. I'm not going to put it in its final spot until the tank and everything's back on. But so yeah, we're about to put this stuff on. Never had a DNA kit on the MT10. It's not worth it. Or the aftermarket intakes don't do anything for those, so I've never bought one before. So is it worth, almost $400? Probably not, but this bike has such a flat spot and those low RPMs, especially in first and second gear. I wanted to go ahead and get it basically to its best usage scenario. So I went ahead and got this and had it mapped for the exhaust and for the intake. So I'm gonna get this stuff on real quick. I'm not gonna do a step-by-step video of how to do this. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll go ahead and get this off. This is already on. This is already loose. I just put it on there to keep dust out. So we're gonna go ahead and get this intake put on. Probably shoot a quick video after I get that mounted up, and then we'll mount the ECU up, and then I'll start putting it back together, and then we'll go ahead and crank it up, let it warm up. Probably not gonna give you guys any kind of first impressions on this video. I want to ride it for a couple days, so I can get some good first impressions of it, and then final thoughts and stuff. But I plan on riding it to work tomorrow, so I don't know if I'll get out on it today, but just want to shoot a quick video and let you guys see it and where it's at and why I haven't been making videos of this. Yeah, let me get started on it. Alright, so a quick couple things. So here's the new lid. Here's a comparison of the size of the stock versus the aftermarket. So here's like my hand for comparison. This thing's much bigger. And then one other quick thing, kind of touches on it lightly, but in the bottom of the airbox there's a drain hole, and it comes with a little screw. It mentions it kind of vaguely right here in the instructions, but it's just a screw that comes in a little Ziploc bag. So you plug that off with that screw, and then this just sits on top like this, and then you have these metal brackets that basically sandwiched down on top of it, and then the OEM screws that hold the lid on, those go down through it, and that's what holds it all together. So I'm gonna get this popped in there real quick. Alright, so we got the top half on. You can see this goes on there like this. The part with there's only one spot that has this, but it goes on in top and bottom halves. The spot with the little prong goes on the top left, and this is for your air intake sensor. It should just sit on there just like this. It clicks in right there, just like that. Yeah, let's pop this bottom half on real quick, and then we'll mount the bracket. Actually, I think I might have already gotten ahead of myself, because I think the bracket uses these two bolt holes, so I need to take these out. If you do use a drill, if you're going to use a drill to put these on there, because the threads are kind of long, so using a handheld screwdriver is going to be a little painful. If you do use a drill, make sure you back the clutch out all the way, because these do not need to be torqued very hard, or very hard. These don't need to be torqued down with a lot of force. They basically just need to be run down finger tight. So if you do use a drill, just make sure you put the clutch on all those settings so you don't strip the holes out. Alright, so we got the filter mounted in there. We got the air intake sensor mounted. We got all the both plates on, top and bottom. And then we got the ECU bracket in there. It's kind of a shame you're basically going to cover this up with the ECU. But yeah, that's what it looks like so far. Like I said, just make sure you don't over torque these because they do not need to be that tight. So yeah, let me finish this up, get the ECU mounted in there. It is held in there with zip ties, and then I've had these cables right here. Plug the cables in, and we'll start by remounting the gas tank, and then we'll start getting the plastics and everything back on it. Alright, got the ECU back in there. One trick I can give you guys, before you bolt the ECU bracket down, go ahead and run your cables through there. I didn't do this, but it would make it a lot easier if you guys did it. Because if you stick it through down here, it's a little bit hard to fish the cable through on this bottom side, through this bottom post. So if you run the cables in, or run those zip ties through there before you bolt this down, it'll make it a little bit easier on yourself. But we got the ECU back in there, got everything connected back up. I'm going to go ahead and go grab the gas tank. We'll get the gas tank back on there next. And get fuel line. We got these 2 vent tubes to hook up, and then we'll start bolting everything down. Now when I did this, I did not remove these side fairings. There's enough play in these to where you can slide them out of the way. But it's, it's completely up to you guys. I didn't do it that way. I did take the fairings off to do the exhaust, but I was more than easily able to get to all the bolts to get the tank off without having to take the side fairings off. So you don't need to do it to get to this point. Alright, got to put it back together. No extra bolts left over too. That's always a plus. So I'm getting ready to wash this thing because it's been in the garage for a little over a week. It's a little dusty. Yeah, everything's good. Haven't actually tried to crank it up yet. I do fully expect to have check engine light. Let me actually wheel this out before we start it. I don't want to fill the garage with fumes. Alright, so yeah, we do have a check engine light. So we'll have to ride it a couple times. I'll ride it to work tomorrow. Kind of take it easy on it till the light goes off. But yeah, overall pretty easy. More frustrating taking the fairings on and off than anything. The only thing that kind of sucked was, a week went by in between taking it apart and putting it back together, so I had a little bit of trouble remembering exactly what bolt goes in what hole, but I did get it figured out. I guess the only thing you probably want to be careful of is water. I don't think you can directly spray water onto the air filter because these ducts do have a little bit of a panel in there that would block water. But you don't want to be spraying water directly in here if you do this. I don't know, I don't think you really necessarily need to tape them off. You just don't want to be spraying water directly in there. Other than that, everything looks good. Like I said, I'm not going to form any opinions on anything on this video. I definitely want to get a couple days of riding under my belt before I start forming an opinion, but I am excited. If this bike, what it was, stock, had to stay that way, I don't think I'd be keeping it. Just because that second gear, just 20-30 horsepower missing, makes it pretty much miserable to ride this bike. I can't really show you what it looks like with the phone mounted on here, but that's what I ended up with the quad like being mounted on there. I like it. Let's crank it up real quick and make sure it starts. Put it neutral. Beautiful. Definitely smells a little richer at idle. Starting to get a little bit of color on them. Starting to get a little bit of color in the welds too. Yeah, if you guys got any questions about this stuff, hit me up. I'll try and get another video out here in the next couple of days. If you guys need any of this stuff, whether it's the exhaust or the ECU tune or the DNA or literally anything for any bike, hit up Corey at Bex Moto. He's the one who's been getting me all this stuff. If you guys find a price, he'll beat any price that you can find. So I think the cheapest I think I saw this exhaust was Sport Bike Track Gear. It was like $11.70. Corey beat that price. The DNA Stage 2, I think the cheapest I saw that was like $3.80 or something. He beat that price. The two-wheel Dynaworks ECU Flash, I think I got, he gave me, it was like $20 or $30 off what I could buy it on Two-Wheel Dynaworks' website. So if you guys need any of this stuff, hit him up. He'll get you hooked up. We've already helped, I think, probably 4 or 5 people with the exhaust and some of the other stuff specifically for the R9. But he can help you with anything, like helmets, gear, bike parts. Just hit him up, send him a message. He'll get you a price. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys aren't subbed yet, please sub. Plenty of content still yet to come with this thing. Next things that I plan on getting, we're definitely going to take the reflectors and stuff off. Still waiting on TST to release their undertail. They teased it on Facebook. If you guys haven't found or seen it, it looks pretty good. And then the next big thing for this bike is tires. I do not like these tires. It's not necessarily the tire, I just don't like this tire on this bike. It's fine on the MT10 and stuff, or the MT07, but this bike just does not feel good. Yeah, if you guys got any questions or anything, hit me up in the comments. Thanks, guys.